So those of you who have followed my my whiteboard ramblings for a while know that I've had a long time obsession with this concept of the buyer journey, right? What is the path that buyers take to consummating a transaction, right? Because I think that ultimately the art of selling is about serving the buyer, and the more we understand about the buyer and how they make decisions and what they need, the more effectively, the more artfully we can sell. Well, somewhere in my archives, there's a post that I did about the buyer journey, and the concept has always been sound for my mind, but it was far too complex, right? I think it was 7 or 8 or 19 steps. I'm not really even sure. And fundamentally, what we want is a practical framework always for applying our craft for selling. So I had an epiphany about a month ago, and I've been playing with it a little bit. I want to share with you. And really, the epiphany was about how to consolidate the concept of a buyer journey and map it, to our sales process in a way that I think will really resonate. I think we'll get the concept across. So what we have here is fairly simple, right? There's 3 components. I'm going to lay them out for you. On the bottom, everything over here is going to represent the seller role, right? What the seller does based on the buyer's stage, right? So where's the buyer in their journey? I'll try not to overcook this thing, right? So as buyers move through their process, right? As buyers move through their journey, I don't think it's a real shock to realize that at some point, let me do it this way, right? Over here, we have a transaction. There's a purchase that's made. At some point in time, that buyer is actually going about the process of choosing, their specific solution to invest in, right? So it's choosing and invest in a solution, right? What they're going to buy in a solution, right? And that's usually what we think about when we talk about buying. However, back that up, what's happened before? Well, all the way on the other end, we really have to realize that at some point in time, the buyer was just sitting there and everything was fine, right? Let's just call this the point of happy, right? Or satisfied, or nothing's wrong, or no need to change. That's not a very kind of scary looking smiley face guy. But, everything is okay. So what happened to get them on that journey? What I call this stage is the stage where the buyer uncovers, right, a problem, a need, right? This is where we think about, a problem or opportunity, right? This is the stage where their eyes are open to, wow, everything is not the way I thought it was, right? So one day everything's fine, the next day it's, maybe my organization isn't running quite as well as I thought, or, whatever the issue is. Uncovering is not a moment in time, though. I want to be clear, because over time, uncovering starts from sort of a little inkling initially to a screaming voice in your head saying, hey, it's time to actually do something, right? So think about your own life. If you have a little squeak in your car and you don't even notice it, it's an intermittent, 2 weeks later that thing is howling, and now you're moving past maybe there's a problem here, to I need to do something here, right? I need to act. The second phase for buyers, is where they really learn, right? Learn about options and consider approaches, right? And I'll go back to the car example. If your car has a squeak in it, actually better yet, my car's air conditioning has been out, and it was intermittent, and I didn't do anything about it, and then it was completely out, and I didn't do anything about it because it was winter, and now it's spring, almost summer, but really it's been a crazy spring here in Colorado, and it hasn't been that hot, so I still didn't do anything about it, and finally, it started to get in the 80s, and I need my air conditioning because I'm uncomfortable, and I'm hearing about it from anybody who rides my car. So I have moved from uncovering to I'm going to figure out what to do about it. I call my mechanic, etc. But there are many approaches I can take, right? One is getting it fixed. There's various people I can get it fixed from. The other is I can buy a new car. I actually got a mailer, something in the mail telling me, we want you to trade in your vehicle. It's at an all-time high, resale value, whatever it is that they're telling you about. And so there's various approaches, and then I'm going to move into the buying phase of what I'm actually going to do. One of the points I want to make really clear is that these are all absolutely critical. They all happen. They may or may not happen in a formal way that we think about, but you really got to think about these as specific boxes to check off, right? We know when that happens, when the deal gets done. But in reality, learning is a phase and uncovering is a phase. And a lot of times what you find in the sales process is when we jump to, and I'll show you this in a second, selling, right, which is really what happens here. I'm just going to go ahead and put it there. Before the prospect has actually fully uncovered their need or fully learned about options, that's when we get the, hey, we'll call you back, we're going to wait and see, we're not going to do anything, et cetera, et cetera. So let's jump into this. When I talk about selling in the sales process, the seller's role, I talk about it as the P's, right? This is where we pitch. This is where we present. This is where we price. This is where we provide proof, right? Those are the, these are the, what do you call it, like references and things like that. And there's probably another one. Oh, propose. I almost forgot, right? This is when we write proposals. So just think about this, right? Have you been in a situation where you've done all this stuff, present, references, proposal, and they said, we're going to hold off, right? We're not going to do anything. Well, that could be because they don't really need it. It could also be because they realize they haven't really done their due diligence here, and we'll talk about that in a second. So what do we do the rest of the time, when we're not just simply selling here, right? What are the other interactions? Well, this shouldn't be that complicated, right? If a buyer is in a learning phase, well, we want to be, drum roll please, educating them, right? We want to be their source for knowledge and be seen as a trusted guide. If somebody's in the learning phase, they don't want a proposal, they don't want pricing, they don't want you to pitch them. They want to learn, and they want you to be their source for the education, right? And that's how you can add great value, across the line here. When they are in an uncovering phase, could be that you are helping them move from kind of an even keel, everything's okay, to here. It also could be that you're helping them expand the problem. Illuminate is my term, right? So if you walk into a prospect and everything's fine, you might be in a mode where what you're looking to do is help guide them to areas of the business they maybe haven't thought about. If they've already identified kind of high level, let's call it latent pain, then you want to help them fully understand that pain and quantify and do all that stuff. Reason being, if you simply take a symptomatic, and I've talked about this in tons of my videos, if you simply take a symptomatic request, we're looking at upgrading our CRM system, and you jump right to the selling side thinking that they're going to be in choosing mode, well, they haven't really done this stuff. They haven't quantified the benefit. They really haven't defined the problem. Personally, I would tell you that I think the vast majority of sales are won and lost here, right? Presumptive selling or anticipatory selling is an interesting term that's come about, and it describes the process wherein vendors are seen to have value when they can bring to buyers ideas, concepts, potential problems, challenges that they haven't even thought of yet. And think about it in our own life, right? When people bring you a potential solution to a problem that hasn't even occurred, hasn't cost you money yet, you may be a little resistant, but you also may be really happy, really appreciative of them for the fact that they're bringing you something before it costs you a lot more, right? And that really is the basis of consultative selling. So I don't want to belabor this. I think this is a pretty good framework here, and really the action item, I feel like we need more color here. The go, run, do is I'd really like you to start to apply this, in your selling activities, and ask yourself at any moment in time, what are you doing? What is the way that you're showing up for your clients? Are you selling? Are you educating? Are you illuminating stuff for them? And does it fit with where they are in the process? Do you even know where they are in the process? And even if they're coming to you saying, well, we're looking at vendors and we're trying to find a solution here, you need to ask them, have they done their homework to uncover and learn and all that kind of stuff? So play with this a little bit and see what your alignment looks like. Look forward to your stories and comments below, please. Thanks so much for watching, and do please send me any questions you have.